have vibes. So, welcome back to another Astro Rewind. It's reality is an illusion, but who is the magician? This one's gonna be a good one. So, definitely super excited. All right, let's get to it.
Let's
Yeah,
get to it.
let's
How
do
about
it. Have us.
Hi vibes, hi vibes, hi vibes. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Astro Solsin. Welcome back to RTM channel. I was going to say TV. I've been rendering all these RTM TV episodes for April 22nd so we can go ahead and launch this thing off because I'm going to be releasing one every week. And man, we got a lot of heat coming, a lot of consciousness, a lot of awareness, a lot of information, a lot of higher level perspective data. You know what I'm talking about. But I wanted to go ahead and talk
Yeah, real quick,
about
I'm gonna
the
just share it.
illusion. You
Yeah, so real quick, just want to say, RTM season 7 is going to come out this month, and it's definitely not anything you want to miss. That's for sure. You want to make sure that you're getting the right information, and I mean, hey, replace your TV with some RTM TV, right? It's a lot more better for you, that's for sure. But yeah, of course, you always want to start from, season 1, just like any other show, right? But yeah, it's definitely more than just a show. It's real life. It's real experience, stuff that you can actually resonate with and apply in your life. So definitely want to give a big shout out to reprogramthematrix.com.
check it out, reprogrammatrix.com, and sign up for. It's available for limited members as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yes. So limited or full members, and you actually get access to connect with like high vibrational people, like-minded people that are on that love frequency that want to know more about reality, that want to know the truth at that. But yeah, let's get to it.
know, how we live in this illusionary world, and part of the illusion's job, the illusionist, excuse me, part of the illusionist, job is to trick you, is to, make you think what is going on is real. So pretty much right now we're dealing with an illusionist. And because if you think about it, who really does illusions? Who are really illusionists? Think about it. Just think about it. I'm gonna give you a second to answer. Some of you might already got it. A magician. A magician's job is to create illusions, to trick you, to pull a little sleight of hand. You know what I'm saying? Like to make you think that something that appears to be real, or to make you think something that's fake, appear. I don't even know. I'm confusing myself now. Okay, it's it's an illusion, and it's a magician's job to create this illusion. And who usually comes to see a magician?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something real quick about that. Like, I grew up on the illusion that, like, your job, your financial status is what makes you who you are. If you're 20 something or whatever and you still don't have like a steady career going, then, you're just not it. You're a bum, type of deal. Like, there's a lot of different, like, illusions that society has, like, been programmed with throughout, like, time. Like, it just has come to that point where if you don't have the fancy cars and the money and this and that, like, I've seen even people go broke off of that illusion where they're just you know buying just to look like they do have that money, and they do, they dress with certain brands and stuff. Not to say it's bad to have money or to, wear certain brands, but I mean, hey, don't, fall into these illusions to the point where you're not able to maintain your own energy. And that's on all levels, the mental level and the physical level. Like, don't go broke and don't go insane trying to fit under these certain standards and categories that aren't even real. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say for that.
Sure.
A magician, somebody that wants to be entertained. So when you're in this reality, you can either look at this thing in two different ways. You can either go out and look at these agents and look at this illusion and everything and be all pissed off and be like, man, this world sucks, blah, 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 blah. It's nothing but evil, and I hear you. I mean, for real, I hear you. But, I've been there, but I had to go ahead and raise the information, a little higher. I had to go ahead and raise my perspective. I had to raise my awareness. I had to get more firsthand experience. And what I came to realize is that I can let this, this magician, this illusionist, entertain me. Pretty much he's my entertainer now. He's working for me, this illusionist here. Instead of, me working for him, being part of his illusion, part of his play, part of his script, part of his movie, part of his Truman Show. See, because you're the true man. This is your show, the Truman Show, the True Man Show. This is your show. So you got to write the script. You got to have this illusionist, this magician, entertaining you. Instead of you being pissed off and, causing all this chaos in your life because you start realizing this place is an illusion and that, your physical body and everything is only temporary, because, I mean, you don't even have to get spiritual with it. You don't have to get philosophical with it to realize you're going to leave this place at some point physically. Some of you might not mentally. I mean, but we don't even have to get into that. But I'm just saying, physically, for sure, physically, that you're probably going to leave this place. Everybody that you known that has passed away, they knew the same thing. They seen their ancestors pass away, and those ancestors seen those ancestors pass away. Now, I'm not trying to put no limitations on anybody, for anybody out there that's on that vibration, that higher level. But what I'm saying is that physicality is an illusion. So your experience here is temporary. And while you're here experiencing this reality, it can either be torture because you can be playing by somebody else's, tune, or it can be your own entertainment. You can laugh at this illusion. You can smile.
I definitely can sync up with that. Like, I mean, even if you look at, like, there's different aspects of the illusionist, but even just looking at it, like, on the subjective, like your own ego, like, you can, I've definitely experienced, going to work, just not wanting to be there, just feeling stressed out because I have to, be here. I have to work, in order to sustain myself in this, matrix. But the fact is like you don't have to let that stuff dictate how you are and how you feel. And if anything, like he said, just make the most of it. Let that entertain you. Instead of getting caught up in the mind and the stress of certain things, just be aware of what's really going on and choose your own destiny. Choose your own path, like, which is truly the spiritual path, because that's who you truly are. So when you're choosing who you truly are, you're choosing that spiritual path. You're choosing, like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let my past experiences make me a bitter person. I'm not going to make, the fact that, I don't know, your bank just charged you a random fee that you didn't know about or whatever, dictate how your day goes or whatever. Like, you can actually choose how you want to react off of things instead of, like, playing that script, where it's like, oh, like, I just feel like school isn't for me, and then you drop out, and people are like, oh, yeah, high school dropout. I remember being in school, like, oh, you drop out of high school, you might as well just get a job at McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. Instead of living off of that script, make your own. This is your story. This is your show. Who says that you have to, follow these rules? Like, you have to get married by such and such of an age and have kids by this age. Make sure you have, you're married before kids. They have all of these scripts that people are running off of, and those are just very basic because it gets deep. It really does. Like, just the different stuff. Like, you can see it into society. Watch a television show and then go out and people watch. You'll notice, like, a lot of those scripts, like on reality TV and stuff, a lot of people are running off of that stuff. And you can I mean, even just recognize it with yourself, and you might start realizing, like, yeah, I need to stop listening to certain music right now. I need to stop watching certain shows because you're just getting yourself entertained instead of, like, really truly grasping what knowledge there is there for you to learn. Like, you can see the programming when you're watching a movie. You could either sit down and actually decode a movie, or you can sit down and let the movie code you, let the movie make, you a certain way. And not to say, like, even with music, like, you can't listen to certain music to get you, like, certain energy fired up within you, like, listen to some tribal, type of music or a tribal type beat, and you're feeling that spiritual warrior vibes, because everything can get transmuted. But that's the thing. Are you truly using your awareness? Are you truly having that awareness behind the things that you're doing? Like, are you, reading just to get away, from reality, or are you reading to actually, like, embetter yourself and, like, get some type of message out of it, and actually seeing the message? Because, I mean, hey, you can't expect, messages to come out of everything, but you can actually, with your awareness, you're able to not only just decode these movies and music and stuff, but what's going on in your reality, and start picking up on the deeper signs in life that are guiding you. Spirit is always there telling you, hey, come this way. We got some high vibes over here. I want you to experience some high vibrational information. And yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something like if you turn off the TV and turn out of that particular illusion that's, being fed to you, you can then look around you and tune into that level of the illusion and that level of entertainment, and
Yeah.
see what's going on around me that I can laugh at and have
Yeah.
fun with, and
Yeah, enjoy life.
yeah, enjoy life.
Vibes to that.
When these agents try to deceive you, or like I said, you can go ahead and become unconscious and not be aware of anything. Just be a drone. Just be a robot. It's up to you. You can do what you want to do. But I mean, the way I look at it is that I'm going to switch things around. I'm going to throw the mirror hex on them, because they always try to mirror everything. They try to make the evil look good. They try to make, the good person look bad. This is what they try to do. So we're going to throw the mirror back at them. They're going to throw a mirror reflection at us, and we're going to throw it right back. And what's going to happen out of that? Things are going to come back into balance. Balance will be restored, and we will reign supreme. So you have to look at this world in a different perspective. Just changing your perspective on things will change, a whole bunch of things that are going wrong in your reality into something that's going right. Because a lot of that mess will just disappear when your perspective.
Yeah, it's so true. If your perspective changes, like, because you have to understand, like, thoughts are energy, they're information. So if you're tuning into, like, let's say you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm awake, like, man, I don't want to have to go to work. You're feeding yourself this stuff, and you're actually can end up draining yourself. And that's just like a small example. Like, you'll see, like, these memes and stuff talking about self-talk and how you talk to yourself is so important. I mean, it's true, because that's kind of like what you're kind of like scripted on. So if you start being aware of what your thoughts are saying, what's actually going on in your mind, you can actually start to change that and be like, you know what? I know for me, if I ever start experiencing negative thoughts, I like to transmute them with gratitude and love, telling myself, like, you know what? I'm grateful I have a job. Like, you know what? Let's see all the opportunities that I can take within my job. Like the opportunities just to talk with people, because I deal with a lot of people on a daily basis, and talk with people, get to know people on a deeper level, and see if, like, if I can learn something from them and they can learn something from me, what type of connection, what I can be aware of, the different type of information people are tuning into. There's just so many opportunities, like just the opportunities to share love, like that's a really big one too. So just being grateful and reminding myself of all of that, instead of reminding myself of, like, well, I could be home and I could be doing this, I could be doing that, instead I have to do this, like, start to transmute those negative thoughts in your mind, become, the driver, instead of allowing this, like, illusionist to drive you with all these illusions, because it can drive you crazy. Like, you'll over here, are scripting all these illusions, and you're actually, like, in a relationship with someone that really loves you, but you block yourself off from that love based on these illusions that are going on. Like, oh, this person's probably just going to end up hurting me anyway, and all of this stuff. And this person's actually a real, genuine, good person, and you're blocking yourself off because of these illusions and all this, And same with, like, other opportunities that might open up in your life for you to take. Like, Spirit's like, hey, I got you. I want you to take this, because you're not only going to learn everything, but you're going to grow. Like, you're going to gain that abundance in your life, spiritually, mentally, and physically. But because you're, like, tuning into these illusions, you end up missing out on that, because you're, like, thinking about all of this stuff that could, or what, you're just scared. You're caught up in the illusion of fear. And, don't let those illusions, dictate your life. It just goes right back to that. Tame that ego. Whoops.
Yeah, and just be open to what's possible, instead of letting the mind kind of tell you, this is what is. This is the only thing you can have. This is how it is. You can't see it any other way. And just be like, let go of all that and say, well, let me look around and see it from a new perspective.
Yeah. How about
changes? Because unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize their power to project, that inner projector, sometimes can be your enemy, because your perspective is wrong. It's crooked. It's not seeing things right. The focus is a little blurred. There's something covering up part of your sight. So once you can clear out all that mess and get everything back into focus, you're seeing things correctly again. Once you can do that, it's not a problem. You're laughing at, these illusions. You're looking at this magician like, that's all you got? Wait till I start using my inner magic. Wait till I start inserting these RTM codes into the grids. Then we'll show you who's a magician. We'll show you who has the magic. Spirit's working with me. Spirit's working with my RTM community, my spirit family, my spirit, children. It's working with us. So don't get it twisted. Keep things straight and narrow. But anyway.
I felt that fire. I felt that fire for sure. And, there's a lot of, like, fake spiritual communities out there. Like, and we've had people here that even experience that, where they'll get, I think it was like, I'm not even going to say the name, but it was a chat, and they weren't really talking about anything that really, like, mattered, like, on their true path, like, on the stuff that they can actually experience. And, like, yeah, like, astral projection is something you can experience. It's cool and all of that. But like I said in the last Astro Rewind, there's a reason why you wake up after astral projection, after a lucid dream, why you wake up here in this reality. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was, there's a lot of, like, and, it's starting to become more popular out there, and we made a few videos on that, so definitely come check us out, about our energy vamper videos, because there's people out there that want to manifest and use your energy. They want to keep you in a certain vibration, so that way they can use your energy, and you're not really raising those higher stages of consciousness, whether it's, like, purposely they know that they don't want you to raise in consciousness, or they just want you to keep raising up in a certain amount of energy, so that way they can keep taking it. And then you're kind of stuck in this loop. And that's something that, other illusionists can do, but also, like, your own illusionists can do with your ego. You got to start recognizing the cycles that you're going through, the pro cycles and the con cycles, and start neutralizing those con cycles. Start, breaking out of them, and really, turning up, because, like he was saying, like, start changing your perspective, your whole reality is going to start to change. So you start changing the energy, the information that you're taking in and you're putting out. You're going to start seeing yourself take steps that are going to be able to ride onto higher waves, like a vibration of, like, and we're even talking about vibration. Vibration can be so much, like, a high vibration can be a loving vibration. It's a vibration full of opportunity, mostly awareness. Like, think about it, you guys. Like, right now, are you aware? And if you're aware, just think about, like, what that word is, like, awareness. Like, look at your hands right now and just be like, oh snap, like, I'm aware. Like, you'll start to, start to see things from a bigger picture, start to oversee that illusionist, start to oversee that mind, and actually, work your magic the way you're meant to work it, instead of like suppressing yourself and limiting yourself, because your potential, it truly is limitless. And this is something I've been seeing on my path where I'm like, wow, like, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really doing something that, like, I had always set out to do, or some things that I never even thought I would be doing. And I'm just like, wow, like, I would have never seen myself like this, a few years back. And it's like, if this is like, this is just like a spice, a little of my of my potential, of our potential, because when we start bringing our potential together, it's like, man, like, think about how powerful you are as a being, and then coming together with spiritual beings. And that's what RTM is about: bringing those powerful spiritual beings, those spiritual warriors that seek the truth, that seek, spirit, like, and that's really like the creator, like who we are, the connection within us all. Really, syncing that up together, it's truly a powerful thing. It like takes limitlessness, like, even more limitlessness, times three. But yeah.
So, RTM, we're taking things up, we're turning things up because we're laughing at this magician. We know we're in an illusion, and we know we can either get trapped by this illusion and keep playing this play and running these scripts, and basically, I guess you would say, playing a role in the Truman Show. You're playing a role in the Truman Show until you become the true man and you show this magician who's the real magician. You see? Because this magician, this illusionist, would not exist if it weren't for us. Now that's powerful. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop with that, because that's really all you need to hear, is that there's an illusion, there's a magician behind the illusion, and he's just here for entertainment. And some people can't take that. They want to be taken more serious, but when you're not real, when you're artificial, I don't know. This has been a message broadcasted by Spirit, just so you know. Anyways, RTM, we're turning things up, and big things in the future for those that are dedicated, those that have the patience and the will and that fire and that desire in their heart, because they still have Spirit within them. This is for you. I appreciate you all. I love you. I thank you. My gratitude times 33, times 44. Peace and out with love, my highest vibrations.
Oh, not the guy. Oh, that was really good. That was a really good one. And I'm definitely feeling that, like, just that spark of, like, yeah, let's do this. Let's, keep the discipline, the devotion, the dedication going up, and just giving your all, because that's what being on your spiritual path is all about. It's really just giving your all fully 100%, like, all in to your spiritual, like, self, your spiritual being, and your spiritual path overall. And with that, comes different steps, and start noticing, like, yeah, I do want to get connected with other people. I do want to, have my ego tamed. I do want to tame my mind. I'm tired of the mental clutter. I'm tired of all, these false, like, spiritual gurus and communities that just lead me, back to more questions and more, it's time to start finding real answers. And this is the place, you guys. Like, there's a reason why you guys find our videos and find Astro's videos. And it was so crazy, because I know on my subjective path, like, I stopped watching everybody, because I was watching all types of YouTubers and stuff. And once I started to kind of, like, recognize, like, okay, like, hey, like, something just isn't right. Like, I gotta follow my intuition. It's time to get off of everything. No TV, no internet, no music, no nothing. Like, I just want to spend time with myself. And I did that for a few months. And the first video, whenever I did get back on YouTube, was Astro's, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna click on it, I'm gonna watch it, and bam, everything synced up with what I was going through. And I was like, this is it. This is what God is. This is what spirit is. It's this like connection. It's like divine synchronicity throughout, not just like your subjective, but also the collective. And I was like, I gotta get to know these people. I gotta, and just the fact that they were so open and loving, yet still had, that, I guess you could call it discernment, that basically just awareness to be like, hey, we're obviously not just going to accept, any type of hate or any type of negative energy. We're always going to keep that awareness sharp. And that's what this is all about, too. Like this video, you got to keep your awareness sharp. You can't allow this illusionist to slither in and basically cut you off from your spiritual connection, because from just like my personal experience, like this kind of stuff, like if you're not, being the true man of your show, like, and really just like, being the true self that you are, you'll have yourself living in lies, doing things you don't even really like doing, with people that you don't even really like, because they've either, hurt you like in a way that it just shows that they don't truly care about you, that they don't truly love you. And people just get caught up in this stuff and constantly forgive and constantly put this energy and invest their energy into stuff that you're not going to get the energy back from. See, with the true spiritual community, the electricity is going to be high. And what is electricity? It's constantly going back and forth. The giving and receiving is on point, and that's what makes it like extra charged up. Right? But yeah,
high vibes to
high
that.
vibes. It was a really good video, and my full love and gratitude for everybody watching. And
catch us next time, Saturday.
Brother Adam is actually going to be there. Peace in and peace out.